Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video with myself and Sloth today. Another interesting link, a player we've been linked with before, Sloth, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka of Manchester United. This rumour is coming out today or yesterday when you're watching this that West Ham want to sign Man United defender Wan-Bissaka to bolster their right back options. Now, there's a lot of right backs kind of being thrown around. Oops, there we go, being thrown around at the moment, and Wan-Bissaka is a name that kind of constantly comes up. He's a player that doesn't really start that much for Man United these days, and yeah, it hasn't really worked out for him massively in a Manchester United shirt the way he probably hoped it would. So, just as an overview for those watching right now, he's currently 26. Obviously, plays right back. He's valued at around 20 million euros on Transfermarkt, with a height of 6 foot, and his contract ends next June. So he's only got 1 year left on his contract, which I think would significantly reduce that value, to be honest. Thoughts on Aaron Wan-Bissaka and his, where he is right now in his career?
It's a strange one because I think he is a fantastic defender. I think the problem he's had is that he's gone to Man United and he's not provided or developed enough to the attacking side of his game. And to be honest, that's the only sort of drawback on the pitch that I can think of. There's been a couple of issues for him off the pitch with driving bans and things like that kind of, I don't know, they don't really put me off him. They seem pretty just arrogant footballer stuff, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I think as an all-round defender, he's one of the best possible options we could have. It's the financial aspects of it that seem to be somewhat like Jim Ratcliffe. They seem unacceptable, and it seems like for a player in the last year of his contract to have £20 million as a price tag when he's not playing that much is a bit of a statement. But look, defensively, I don't think you can criticise his game. He's one of the best one-on-one tacklers in the league, or he has been for quite a long time. And physically, he's 6 foot tall. He's quite quick, and I think it's just about that development of his game, attack-wise, where maybe the question marks are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure when this video is going to go live, but obviously Ben Johnson is pretty much signed for Ipswich at this point. So we're expecting that to go through if it hasn't already. And then we're kind of left with Sofal at right back. So it's definitely an area we need to recruit in. And I think as well, we've got kind of, you're looking at the links we're being kind of drawn to at the moment. Kyle Walker-Peters is one that's being thrown about as well, who can play right back. So it looks like we're in the market for a right back 100%. I think the decision to let Ben Johnson go is probably aiding these links now, and these rumours that are coming around. And, Wan-Bissaka is an easy one. It's an easy link to put into West Ham, but he is on the shortlist. He is someone that is part of the transfer targets this summer as a potential Ben Johnson or Kufal replacement. Just as an overview, as you said there, kind of looking at his statistics, I think his passing, if we're kind of looking at that from that perspective, he's not that, he's not someone that's going to, he's not someone that's going to really create from right back. As you say, he's fantastic defensively, which we'll get onto in a second. But, when we're looking for someone to progress the ball, again, someone like an Emerson who's fantastic at dribbling, and in the attacking thirds he'll look to contribute more, but it actually might work in our favor. I don't want to go into these stats too much because we all know kind of Aaron Wan-Bissaka's game. This is kind of just alluding to it, but in terms of the balance of a squad, it's something we've spoke about recently in other videos. But if you've got Emerson left back, is it smart to have a kind of another offensive flying forwards right back? Depends on the system. Depends how you want to play. I think it's a lot rarer to come by these days. I think you either have one defensive right back, fullback, and the other one's a little bit more expressive. Again, it depends on the system, but it's pretty rare. So focusing on kind of Aaron Wan-Bissaka's defensive, statistics here, which you can see here, like he hasn't played an awful lot of minutes this season. He hasn't been someone that's been, playing 90 minutes every game, but you can still see there he's averaging around 2 tackles per 90. Again, you kind of think about the team he's in and the environment he's in, but challenges lost 96th percentile. He doesn't lose challenges. Percentage of dribblers tackled 96th percentile. It's everything we know Wan-Bissaka's game is. Interceptions 99th percentile, tackles and interceptions combined 95th percentile. So it's not something it's not something we're unfamiliar with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So is it actually maybe a move that's going a little bit unnoticed or a little bit overlooked by some West Ham fans right now on social media because it's a link that comes out so often? But actually, when we're talking about the balance of a starting 11, it might be better for us to go for a more defensive right back if we want to play Emerson on the left hand side.
I think you're bang on with that. There's a lot of the balance to the squad that I think could be addressed, but it's all going to be important about the centre backs as well. You know, if we can move players like Aguerd and Zuma on, as is rumoured, then who comes in for them is going to be another important aspect with that. And if it's someone like, say, Kilman, who's not necessarily the most progressive centre back, is not going to look to get forward that much, then you could almost get another sort of flying wing back and double up. But it's whether or not you want to get more of that sort of work rate that Bowen provides on that side and focus on that up and down of the pitch that we know he likes to give, or whether you want to focus more on the attacking side of his game. We know he can do both, but I think that potentially getting someone who's a bit more defensively resolute and can keep up with players where maybe Supal can't, I think that could be a good move. My only sort of reservation about this is the financial side of it, how much it costs. Because look, it's baffling to me that he's still only 26, to be honest, because it feels like he's been around for like 10 years or so. And one of my good friends, he came through the Crystal Palace Academy in that group with Zaha, and like he still talks about the gulf in between players at that age. And I think it's very hard to sort of put into words just how good someone has to be to not only break into the Crystal Palace team at that age, but then to go forward and get a move to Man United at that age. And I think he would be able to come in and shore up the defense, but it all depends on how we want to play. And if we want to get, say, Wilfred Singo, maybe someone like that who is physically dominant like Wan-Bissaka is, but a bit more progressive and will carry the ball as well forward, then maybe that's something that we need to balance up financially.
Yeah, I think it will kind of come down to the financial side with this deal because Man United paid what 50 million for him, maybe something like that. Not that long, well, a few years back now, but he was a fantastic talent. And as you say, he's still only 26. We're talking about him like he's 29 or 30. He's not. He's 26. Still loads of football ahead of him. You think of Sofal right now, 31, turning 32 in August. So we need to address that situation because Ben Johnson, as we say, when we're recording this, is pretty much gone. He's gone to Ipswich. So we don't have any other options really, unless you want to kind of shift over someone like Mavropanos to right back. But again, it's a makeshift solution to a permanent problem, which is something we need to address. I think fullbacks have been neglected. We've said it on this channel. Fullbacks have been neglected for a while. I think we got very lucky when we struck with Sofal. I thought he was fantastic in the first couple of years he's been at West Ham. He was at West Ham, sorry. And Emerson as well, one we kind of got lucky with because I don't think it was necessarily anyone's first choice by any means. So I think for me, it comes down to the price as well. I think at 20 million euros or whatever transfer marks valuing it at, do you see it being more or less than that, Sloth, to get this deal done?
I don't know. In the imaginary world that Jim Ratcliffe lives in, it's very hard to figure out what he thinks is a good price and a good deal, because it seems to be either he wants a stadium built by taxpayers or he wants everything for nothing. And it's very strange when you look at what could be considered good business for everyone else. He just seems to question, and it's up in the air. So personally, I would think 20 million euros is a good price. Again, you could factor in the last year of his contract, but financials, again, the wages are going to be big. I think he's rumored to be on about 150 grand a week, isn't he? But then, it's he's probably going to take a big signing fee if he's not going to want more money or thereabouts.
Have to reduce his wages, wouldn't he? He'd have to reduce his wages if he came to West Ham.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think maybe it's weighted up with a signing fee or some sort of deal from Manchester United. But I really like him as a defender. I think we've seen this season. Soufal's, he's added a lot of assists from last season, which he had in that first season he came in. It's just taking that out the side is the risk. And Wan-Bissaka does have versatility. He's played at left back a couple of times for Manchester United this season in particular, to cover Luke Shaw. But it's how does the financial side of things add up? Because if we sell Paqueta and he's found innocent of his betting thing, then you can afford it. But if we're hit with a ban, then it's all hands on deck. So I'm almost thinking maybe the best option for now is to wait until the end of the window and see what happens, see how we progress. Is there something to be done with Kyle Walker-Peters and Downs, or is it a case of we move quickly and get it sealed for 15 to 20 million pounds?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's a lot of other names being mentioned right now. So we'll see what progresses in the next couple of weeks or so. But yeah, let us know in the comments down below. Would you like to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka in a West Ham shirt this summer? Could be an interesting move, and definitely a link we've been around the block with for the past few years, that's for sure. But yeah, make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and stuff. Till the next one.
Come on, you Irons.